My name is Caleb Burley, and I am terrified of old school technology.
My name is Cordell, and you want to see this sick tat I got?
My name is Sammi, and do you want to meet the most unassuming man in the world?
And this is Junk House.
It's a psychobilly freakout!
Welcome to all of you house guests, you junkies, you amazing people listening to this. We are doing a fun episode this week. I'm very
As
excited.
opposed to the other miserable episodes we've
every
been
other
putting
one
out.
sucks.
Yeah, going back, looking at it, figuring out how many people have to die before Cordell becomes president, lame.
Bullshit.
The whole
26
Kirby
episodes
shout-
of trash. Now we're
26
getting on to the golden age. Of
This
Junk
is
House.
welcome
Yeah, and-
to season 2 of Junk House, where we only do good shit.
Yeah, you know whenever you're like, oh, hey, you look really nice today. And they go, so I don't look nice every other day?
Yeah.
That's what I just pulled on you.
Yeah,
Idiot.
but
That's-
also because this is
yeah.
season 2, I hope you're all ready because we're gonna Doctor Who regenerate into our new forms.
Oh.
Ready?
Yeah.
Ready?
So Cordell
Here we
has to
go.
go for Cordell goes for it's starting.
Whoa. Guys, I'm Dan Aykroyd now.
Holy shit.
Whoa.
Dan Aykroyd.
Yep, it's me, Dan Aykroyd from the hit film Ghostbusters.
Oh no, I'm regenerating too.
Oh.
It's me, Slimer, from the Ghostbusters movie.
Slimer!
I'm regenerating too. Oh. I just shit myself.
Yeah, you gotta watch it. Never trust a regeneration.
You guys, did you fall for my joke? It's still me. I'm still Caleb.
I'm Dan Aykroyd.
Oh shit.
And
I don't know how to
shitting my
change
pants.
back.
Slightly problematic Dan Aykroyd. Okay, no, I want to talk about the scary that I brought this week.
Yeah, we all brought.
So,
we're talking about SCP, secure
Talking about
contain protect.
SCPs this week. I didn't know what SCP was until the episode last week, but turns out I've read a lot of them. I just
Yep.
didn't know they were SCP. Like I didn't
Yeah.
know that's what it was. So,
That's how we all find it. Or if you're like me, your brother says, hey, Cordell, look at SCPs, and then sends you 30 links to different ones of them.
that is
'cause
one of the most
ADHD is a
Cody
hell of a drug.
sentence I've ever. That's one of the most Cody stories I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Yep. We had
I
a
love that.
conversation like last year where I was like, dude, if you want me to have a chance of looking at anything you send me, you cannot send me more than like 2 or 3 a day. If you want any chance at all of me looking at anything, because he's always like, you never listen to the songs I send. You sent 80. I can't.
I physically cannot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get that.
But yeah, I also love SCPs.
They're-
There's a lot of YouTube I've watched, a lot of SCPs I've read.
Yeah.
I listen to a podcast on occasion that just reads out SCPs, and it's delightful.
Wait,
This
that's
is-
what we're gonna do
that's
today.
what we're doing this week.
Wow. I hope we don't get sued.
But we're also gonna make our own at the end. So
Yeah, so it's different.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna read to you guys SCP 1981.
Ooh.
So I'm just gonna go right in and just start from the top and keep going.
Let's go.
Object class, safe. Totally safe. Special containment procedures. SCP-1981 is to be kept inside of a secure video storage unit at the Media Archive site redacted. When in use, SCP-1981 should not be removed from its casing or exposed to any strong magnetic sources. A Betamax home video system and an analog television has been provided in Observation Theater 2 at Site Redacted, as well as video equipment to record viewings. Description: SCP-1981 is a standard Betamax tape titled Ronald Reagan Cut Up While Talking. This has been handwritten on the adhesive sticker and felt tip pen. Laboratory analysis indicates that SCP-1981 is made of ordinary material and serial numbers correspond with the home cassette tapes produced in September of 1980. SCP-1981 was initially encountered while a filing clerk in the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library in 1991, who, upon watching it, alerted the police with the intent to find the tape's creator to press obscenity charges. A low-level police investigation was conducted, at which point the Foundation was alerted and secured. SCP-1981 and secured SCP-1981. Is that amnestics? Is that word? I've never actually said that word out
amnestics,
loud. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Class A amnestics were administered before redacted could be notified. Further investigation of the library records by Foundation personnel failed to yield any leads on SCP-1981's origin. This SCP appears to be a home video recording of former United States President Ronald Reagan delivering his Evil Empire speech to the National Association of Evangelicals at Sheraton Twin Towers Hotel, Orlando, Florida, on March 8th, 1983. However, at 1 minute and 10 seconds, the speech begins to deviate heavily, eventually resembling no known speech ever made by Reagan. Beginning at approximately 5 minutes, multiple incisions, lacerations, and penetration wounds can be seen slowly inflicted, though no corresponding source of these wounds are visible. Despite suffering bodily harm that would likely incapacitate an ordinary person, Reagan will continue to deliver his speech until either his whole vocal cords are severed or the tape degrades to static at 22 minutes and 34 seconds. Upon rewinding SCP-1981 and initiating playback, Reagan will deliver an entirely new speech, often radically different from the ones previously observed. Topics have included torture, child molestation, and ritual sacrifice. Trauma inflicted upon Reagan also appears to be divergent, with impalement, genital mutilation, and redacted having all been observed. In roughly 1 in 7 viewings of SCP-1981, a figure clothed in black robes, a conical head, and a conical hood will have replaced a random number of Reagan's press detail, henceforth referred to as SCP-1981-1. The significance of the appearance of SCP-1981-1 is currently unknown. The speeches delivered by Reagan are mostly incoherent, lacking any sort of underlying thematic structure, and largely being composed of nonsensical anecdotes and parables. Well, that's just every Ronald Reagan speech. But
Got him.
however, occasional references are made to future events that Reagan could not possibly have known about or predicted, such as the September 11th terrorist attacks, the result of the 2008 Russian elections, and redacted. For this reason, rigorous time and effort has been devoted to recording the speech delivered on each playback. Attempts to replicate SCP-1981 onto a similar Betamax tape have been met with failure. However, cameras used to record the television that SCP-1981 is broadcasted on have succeeded in quote-unquote capturing individual playbacks. Any observations performed on SCP-1981 must be recorded on the camcorder provided and delivered for subsequent review to Dr. B, project supervisor. Years of magnetic interference have severely degraded SCP-1981 signal quality, making it even more difficult to sift meaningful information from the playback. Additionally, the gruesome nature of the mutilations performed on Reagan have been described as extremely disturbing, and for this reason, it is recommended that any personnel feeling squeamish or ill after playback visit the on-site psychiatry facility for a level 3 evaluation. as Ronald Reagan was alive at the time of SCP-91's or SCP-1981's containment. A surveillance net was deployed to establish any relation between him and SCP-1981. No known connection was developed, though Reagan would frequently complain about nightmares before his mental state degraded due to Alzheimer's. And then there's a video transcript. They're like videos of the actual SCP, quote unquote. Very creepy.
Yeah.
You gotta love anyone who hates Reagan that much.
Yes. We're an anti-Reagan podcast. I think
Yeah.
we're trying to say that out loud.
True.
Junkhouse, everyone's favorite Ronald Reagan hate cast. We're gonna stick it to him.
Someday people will realize how bad he was.
Truly. But yeah, I didn't remember that one just by the number. But I opened it and was like reading along, and yeah, I remembered this is a very famous one, a very popular one.
Yeah,
because it's like just slightly weird because it's just like a videotape that changes.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not like a guy dying. Reagan's not actually dying each time.
Yeah.
Shit.
And like it gets at something that I like. SCPs and creepypastas, the ones that scare me the most, or used to and now don't because I'm fine with it, or like
Yeah.
old technology that had been messed up somehow. Like I
Mm.
think the most famous example of one that terrified me when I first read it was Ben Drowned. That creepypasta.
I don't know
About-
that one.
that one's about Majora's Mask, and it's
Yeah.
like a cursed cart that like
Oh, got it. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's always one save file that says Ben, and if you go in and play on that save file, like everything about it is corrupted.
Mm.
It like breaks the game several times, and then Link has a particular face that he makes, and supposedly like it was like belonged to a kid that the actual story of Majora's Mask scared him so much that he drowned himself or something.
Got it. And
Yeah.
things like that, or like the lost episodes ones always get me. Like something that is close enough to reality that could have feasibly just gotten messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's even like lost episode ones get me a lot because like, do you guys remember the show Full House? Like, were you guys watchers of that?
Not super involved watcher, but I watched it
Eh?
from time to time.
There's like an episode, and it was like the last episode of the original run of the show, where like the youngest daughter, I'm spacing, Michelle, that was her name. Michelle
Yeah.
falls off a horse and gets kicked and develops amnesia due to brain trauma.
I remember
the
that episode.
fuck?
I remember the Michelle Amnesia episode.
And like it never gets resolved, really. And so like that's the kind of shit that like me remembering from my childhood, lost episode stuff, I'm like, no, we're
Oh,
done.
that's spooky.
Bad.
Yeah, and that's for listeners who have never heard of SCPs, never really known about them either. That's the kind of stuff that it can be on that end. I brought a fairly benign one too because the weird ones tend to be a lot more like long and complex.
Yeah.
But-
Like there's ones that are like complete different dimensions. Those are kind of my favorite.
Yeah.
They're way
And-
too long.
And a lot of them will come with like a narrative too that is written as like field reports of them investigating it. Like
Yeah.
there is one that I adored, and I think I brought it up briefly last episode, but it's a warehouse full of pipes.
Yeah.
But each pipe is made of a different substance, and we're talking they could be made of hair, glass, bones, bugs, dirt, anything.
Literally.
And that the
anything,
pipes
yeah.
just continue to grow and branch off of each other. And the narrative included with it, the field report, is this team trying to go in to analyze and study it. And most of them being like gruesomely killed by this just warehouse full of pipes. And
Yep,
they like
just
keep it
regular
separated
house.
from other buildings lest the pipes branch into those. Like just weird, wild stuff.
It's crazy.
But if you're ready, I shall go. So I brought SCP-21.
21, an early
21. An early one, yeah. The podcast I listened to literally just read them off in order.
Oh, damn.
So
Okay.
yeah, so like I know the earlier ones a lot better than I know any like random ones. But
Okay. Interesting.
SCP-21 Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-21 is an obligate parasite of the human body. Containment, therefore, is no more difficult than containing an adult human. Most cells will suffice. Item is currently housed in Detention Cell 217A on Subject D-139. Only Class D personnel are eligible for hosting SCP-21. As long as a given subject survives as a host for SCP-21, he is exempt from normal monthly terminations of Class D personnel. Which is a fun joke, like pseudo joke that runs through. Class D personnel are killed and fired constantly. Like they're the
Yeah.
red shirts of the SCP Foundation.
Lowest of the
Any
low.
SCP worth its salt kind of abuses the Class D personnel in some way.
And in some cases, like helpful
Yeah.
SCPs are become D class D class personnel. Are they like
Yeah.
make humanoid SCPs?
They are
D-class?
given a category as D-class personnel. It is a
Yeah.
delight to watch these red shirts get got. But description. SCP-21 takes the form of a large and elaborate tattoo of a serpentine dragon in the Oriental style, covering approximately 0.8 square meters of skin. The tattoo is fully animate within the confines of the host's skin and behaves largely as a normal animal would, albeit only in 2 dimensions. The tattoo's movement causes constant pain to its host, comparable and similar in character to simultaneous tattooing and tattoo removal on a large scale.
Ooh.
The organism tends to spend most of its time on and near the torso. SCP-21 displays no intelligence beyond a basic pattern of feeding and locomotion, although actually measuring the intelligence of a 2-dimensional lifeform has proven impossible thus far. SCP-21 appears to feed exclusively on pigments in the host's skin. This can include melanin, in which case the subject appears to be suffering from vitiligo. However, the organism shows a marked preference for other tattoos and will seek out and devour these before resorting to natural pigments. It should be noted that the feeding process itself, beyond the sensation of movement, is painless. Normal tattoo ink simply vanishes as it is, quote, eaten. The organism maintains a constant size and no excretions have been observed. The organism is capable of clearing over 0.6 square meters of skin per hour. One may, quote, feed SCP-21 by quickly tattooing fruits or small animals on the host. SCP-21 can be transferred between hosts by various forms of physical contact with differing rates of success. In the case of successful transfer, the organism simply, quote, swims from one person to the other. Sexual intercourse appears to be the most reliable method of transfer with a 93% rate of transmission. However, due to the severe pain involved, this is less than ideal. Is that Wilder?
Yeah.
What a sweet dog. I hear a squeaky toy going. Transfer is more complicated in deceased subjects, though not unreasonably so. The organism suffers no ill effects from the death of its host and continues to consume pigments. Transmission between species is unknown. Previous tests suggest it would either be impossible or exceedingly rare. SCP-21 does confer some benefits to its host. The tattoo has been proven to accelerate the release and reuptake of epinephrine and decrease lactic acid buildup, providing boosts of strength, confidence, and pain tolerance in stressful situations, and reducing the usual after effects of weakness and fatigue. In addition, the tattoo seems to have some beneficial effect on its host's immune system. Aggression profiles in hosts are generally higher than average, though whether this is a direct effect of the tattoo or simply a reaction to the constant pain remains to be seen. The symbiotic relationship is usually limited by how long the host can tolerate such pain in everyday life. This has culminated in suicide in a number of subjects. In rare cases, hosts have also fallen victim to fatal skin infections. SCP-21's origins and nature are a mystery. tracing its transmission from host to host is hardly feasible within the confines of secrecy, and the organism could well be hundreds of years old, if not more. Nevertheless, SCP-21's captivity is one of the longest in the Foundation's history at nearly data expunged years, and has been very educational thus far. Current research focuses mainly on observing the characteristics of life in 2 dimensions.
That's really cool. I've always liked magical tattoos.
Right? That's one of my favorite, like, fantasy tropes ever. Sci-fi, anything. Tattoos that move and come off the skin, coolest things in the world.
It's the best.
But yeah, I brought a pretty benign one too, but I just think it's so neat.
Yeah, I really like it. Should I just jump into mine then?
Do it, girl.
Okay. So this one starts out. This document was recovered from the site Redacted Precious Document Vault. Anonymous object number AO-1504-WGGYXJK. Item description: an unremarkable man who is not able to be harmed.
I think I know this one.
Data of recovery expunged. Location of recovery expunged. Current status, and there is some words, but it's all marked out and just says missing. Okay. Interviewed AO-1504. Interviewer Dr. Lloyd. Forward AO-1504 is being questioned on its background. Okay. Dr. Lloyd, what is your name? 1504. I don't remember. Joe something. Dr. Lloyd. Okay. Now, what year were you born? In 1982. Thank you for the year, but do you have an exact date? No, I never know when I was born. Dr. Lloyd's nose begins to bleed. Oh, excuse me, my nose is bleeding. Dr. Lloyd leaves the room and returns a few minutes later. Dr. Lloyd, I'm sorry, that was weird. I've never been prone to random nosebleeds. 1504, it's fine. Maybe a storm is coming. I've heard the changing air pressure can make a person's nose bleed. Dr. Lloyd, maybe. Do you know why you can't be hurt? The subject was silent for a few seconds, then proceeded to weep. I don't really want to talk about it. Dr. Lloyd, that's fine. Thank you for your cooperation with today's interview. You may return to your room. Okay, end of the log. How do you say that word? Addendum?
Addendum?
My brain is not working, apparently. Addendum 1504, 1504-2. We didn't know his true anomaly. We didn't know what he could do. Data corrupt. Data corrupt. I guess he affects computers too. Our automatic security system begins to have hiccups in a breach here, a breach there, but nothing that surprised us. But then our keter got out. Only about half of the staff here realized it. The other half all died. We managed to contain it. We sent a request for more staff, but they never responded. Our supplies are dwindling. So we asked for more. Nothing. They didn't even acknowledge our existence. We had more breaches, more deaths, yet we never questioned these breaches or these deaths. I don't know why we didn't question those deaths. Data corrupt. Earlier today, we had a site-wide containment breach. All the doors opened because of those hiccups I mentioned earlier. Most of the remaining staff members are dead. Those who are still alive are few and far between. We can't contain a breach of this magnitude, and the other Foundation sites will probably ignore it. They'll cite it as a completely normal and ignore it. I'm going to put this in the vault, then set off the on-site nuke. I'm already badly hurt, and the blast would save more lives than it will end. If anyone ever finds this, tell my wife that I love her, and I'm sorry for spending so much time on my job. Tell her that I said goodbye, and I'm thinking of her as I die. This document was updated per the new information recovered from site redacted.
Whoa.
Item number SCP-1504. Object class Keter.
Which, for those at home, Keter is like, there are 5 SCP classes, and Keter is the middle ranked class. And overall, it means very difficult to contain or not yet contained.
And very dangerous.
Yeah.
Will kill you.
I saw a comparison that like a Euclid class is a grenade with the pin pulled, but someone's still holding it down.
Yeah.
And a Keter class is someone pulled the pin and put the grenade in your pants.
Yeah.
And that's the middle one?
That's the middle one. Oh, Caleb, the level 5 SCPs are like will end reality if not properly managed.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Special containment procedures. SCP-1504 is not currently contained. If any Foundation personnel see the subject, they are to contact the current project head. In the event SCP-1504 is found, it is to be brought to Area 114 and contained in a 3 meter by 3 meter by 3 meter containment chamber. To enter the subject's containment chamber, a total of 4 level 3 staff members are needed. 2 staff members must remain inside the control room to remotely enact the failsafe should a containment breach occur. The failsafe consists of flooding the containment chamber and surrounding areas with halothane vapor, which has proven to be only viable method to incapacitate is marked out. And so I guess they're saying that it doesn't do anything. Extensive research has shown that SCP-1504 can be incapacitated by blunt force trauma to the head. Okay.
That'll do.
Description. SCP-1504 is a Caucasian male standing about 1.95 meters tall. The subject's appearance is unremarkable, aside from a small birthmark on its right shoulder. 1504's there's so many words.
You're doing great.
Anomalous traits include its inability to be harmed or killed. All actions carried out by 1504 will be perceived by surrounding individuals as being within expectations for the situation. 1504 has been known to attack personnel who will then believe circumstance or their own doing has hurt them. The subject is able to affect electronics and automatic systems. 1504 was brought to the attention of the Foundation because of its inability to be harmed and was classified as blah, blah. The subject was held at site redacted. A site security failure and subsequent containment breach resulted with the nuke. It was declared missing, but was soon raised high priority after the above document was found. Now, after being further analyzed and sent through multiple filters, it was discovered that 1504's responses in the initial interview were not accurate from what was recorded. Here is the true what was said.
Oh, no.
Dr. Lloyd, what is your name? 1504. I'm not going to tell you. You'll just ignore me. Dr. Lloyd. Okay, now what year were you born? 1504. Told you. You weren't even going to notice if I punched you in the nose. Dr. Lloyd. Thank you for the year. But do you remember an exact date? 1504. I didn't give you a fucking year. Hey, Doc, watch this. 1504 got up from his seat and proceeded to physically assault Dr. Lloyd. The subject then returned to his seat. Lloyd. Oh, excuse me. My nose is bleeding. Lloyd left the room, comes back a few minutes later. I'm sorry, that was weird. I've never been prone to random nosebleeds. 1504. It's because I fucking punched you. Dr. Lloyd. Maybe do you know why you can't be hurt? 1504. I could say anything. I could do anything. I could say that I'm going to rape and kill your wife and you wouldn't even notice. Hell, I could actually rape and kill your wife and you wouldn't notice. I'm living in a virtual hell because I can't die. I'm going to step outside this room. I'm going to take the guard's gun. I'm going to shoot myself with that gun and nothing, fucking nothing is going to happen. The subject appears to be in tears at this point. 1504. Do you know what it feels like to be in a room crowded with people and they all ignore you? Do you know how hellish my life is? I want to die. Dr. Lloyd. That's fine. Thank you for your cooperation with today's interview. You may return to your room.
Oh, that poor dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's missing.
Yeah, he's just out there again.
Probably going more crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, but probably nobody would be able to even
Nobody
talk
notices.
about or identify him. Like,
Mm-hmm. And apparently there are like SCP video games and things out there too.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of really good ones.
There's
Like,
the the IKEA game.
IKEA game, that's a great, yeah.
Have you heard of that? The new
No.
IKEA video. It's based off of SCP, where the entire idea is just that IKEA is such a liminal space. And
Oh
so
yeah.
the SCP is about like you go into an IKEA and it never ends.
Yeah,
And like you just find people camping in the rooms and the workers there at night will just try and attack you.
and the workers are like 7-8 feet tall, no faces, like these just
Yeah.
creatures that will kill you, and they're like, you must find the exit, and like any like exit directions you go are endless unless there's like the random chance where a
Yeah.
door will open and you can leave.
So there's also, I just looked this up. There is the SCP, like there's an official SCP game called Keter. It's SCP
Okay.
Keter, and it is a Dead by Daylight and Left 4 Dead inspired multiplayer game.
Yeah, there's the one that I've played. I'm trying to look up. I think
And
it was
this one is gonna release in December of this year, so it's not even out yet.
There was a game that the most popular SCP game. Let me see if I still have it in here. Yeah, there's SCP Secret Laboratory, or maybe, yeah, there's a game like that is already out, which is super fun, and it's like, yeah, like there's like a bunch of people as the like people going into a site to try and kill like 2 or 3 different SCPs that are also controlled by players.
Got it, because that's similar to this one. This is no, it's a 3v1 like survival game where one player is the SCP,
Yeah.
trying to hunt down the other 3 who are D-class personnel. And so each match has like a random generated map and then like different objectives and different things on the thing, like interactable things. So it's supposed to be like a really interesting, I don't even know how to describe that kind of game, but it's supposed to be neat.
Yeah.
But it sounds just kind of like it's like how I try to remember, like arch enemy type game where one is the actual enemy and the other 3 are underpowered trying to take them down.
Yeah, or like that Left 4 Dead game that they did forever ago where like one of you was a zombie, like a special infected trying to kill everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the best way the way you said it the first time as a Dead by Daylight, that's the best way to describe it.
What is Dead by Daylight? I don't know.
So Dead by Daylight is a game where you have, I think it's actually 4v1.
Yep, it's 4v1. Olivia plays it a lot, so I watch a lot of it.
Yeah, one player is a killer from, like, they actually have special killers that are from movies and stuff now.
Oh, wow.
One player is a killer. The rest are these people trying to escape. They have to repair generators to open a gate to be able to leave.
Got it.
I think I prefer the secret laboratory, just because it's like at least 10 people on the human side, and there are like 2 or 3 SCPs, and it's like a huge complex. So like, and it's free. So that's a big thing.
Like the odds are better in your favor there.
Yeah. And it's just more fun because when you do get to play the SCPs, because there's so many more people, they are like insanely powerful. Yeah. And the players, there are different levels, right? So you play as a D class, or you're gonna be a scientist, or you're a part of the like the guard. I forget what they're called, but like you can only escape if you have this certain level of key card. And a scientist starts out with like a level 1 key card, and you have to, and they also have like the machine that makes things better. So the idea is like to start out as a scientist or a D class, find a card, go to that machine, make it as high of a card as you can, and then escape. But it's
okay.
it's super fun. I've played a shit ton of it. I need to play more of it.
But now we're at this portion where we're going to try to make up our own SCP.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I suggest we do this Mad Lib style.
Okay.
Like we just like we figure out like what are the components of an SCP, because it's like usually there's something identifiable like an object, a person, a place, and then it has a weird quality that affects like X thing. So let's just like, ooh, what if each one of us has one piece of that, and then we'll just say them and make an SCP out of the resulting thing.
Okay.
Okay.
So we know like person, place, thing is one of the categories. I think Caleb could do that.
Yeah, like the noun.
Yeah, the noun. Then what would the other two aspects of it be? Like, because the noun's got a verb something, right?
I think the noun's got a verb something. I think it's the what / who, the why, and the how.
But what
are
if
like
what if I just pitch you this?
Yeah.
Yesterday, as we were recording, was election day. So what if it's just a voter's room where no matter what you vote, you don't get what you voted for?
Well, no, that's just
That's just
being a
that's just real
Democrat
life.
in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
South.
yeah, yeah.
that's just
But what
being a
if we
Democrat.
did something weird about a voter's room?
I think there is something there.
A
That's
polling place.
A polling place.
Yeah.
I feel like what we're looking at is Euclid level. Like it's I don't think it'll kill you. I think it's a weird no, it may be safe. Like a weird anomaly that can, because here's I think a polling place, dope idea. What if there is one polling station where when you go in and vote, when you walk out into an alternate reality where you got
Yes.
everything you voted for.
That's what I was thinking, actually. That was
Interesting,
my
yes.
exact thought.
So like, yeah.
Well, I think what we really need to do, though, is figure out how do we know that that's what it's doing if they don't, like, when do they return from said wonderful life reality where they got what they voted for?
I don't think they do. Okay, here's my pitch.
Well, a lot of SCPs as well, right? That have things like this. In the notes, in like the scientific journal writing, it's kind of this idea of people have just noticed that people have gone missing in this certain spot, and SCP people have come in and done the research to figure out. So there's probably people that are like stuck in those dimensions.
So like,
wait.
and like, so like can I pitch?
Yeah,
my
you do
idea
it.
real
You do
quick?
it.
Okay. Because here was my idea that I think gets into that is like what? Okay, so like let's say there is an alternate universe where I voted for everything that happened in Arkansas last night. Like down the ballot is exactly what I voted for, right?
Yeah.
So Cordell notices me going into the voting booth, but next day we meet up for lunch and I'm acting weird. I'm not the same person.
This
And
was
it's
my
literally
idea.
you are swapping spots
Yes.
with all alternate versions of yourself.
That was my exact idea, because I read a book where, well, I listened to the audiobook of it. But anyway, I read a book where these people had created a like portal, and it was one end on one end of the facility and the other in another building in their facility. and people were acting strangely working on it. What they realized, like the big twist, is that the people entering the portal and the people leaving the portal were alternate versions of each other from different realities. And so they were mostly the same, but had subtle differences of like their office was in a different spot, or they didn't have tattoos, things like that. And I was thinking, what if this polling place, the person who goes in isn't the person who comes out, like you said, because when whatever you vote for, you step into the world where that won. Which means
Yeah.
Caleb the Democrat walks into this polling place in Arkansas, and Caleb the Republican leaves.
Oh no.
And
Yeah.
then, so like only the people close to this person realize what's going on, but enough of these anomalies appear. And what if it changes every election? Like it appears at a new place and it's never like registered with the county, but people will just go there.
Ooh. Yeah, those votes aren't
like
even
that.
counted.
Yeah, no, their votes straight up just are not, they're not counted, but people just seem to be drawn to it.
Yeah. Like, and I think, okay, here is a pitch, because I think there has to be something about the SCP that is like a little bit like recognizable. Like it has to be grounded in something.
Yeah.
You know how there's always that one building in every town that you just instantly, you look at it and you're like, I swear I've seen that somewhere else.
Yeah, I think so.
Like a big gray building or something like that. Like it's that idea of like, the reason people keep going to this place is because it is just that, like, I know this place, this makes sense.
Yeah. Or I
Yeah.
was thinking too, there, because what do all polling places have? Staff.
Oh.
So what if there are workers at this polling place who are just very kind, very welcoming, but it's always the same workers, always the same interior? And
Mhm.
so like the foundation finds it each election by like scanning cell phones and getting the images of where they are to try to find these workers to find the place to study it. But they can't contain it. It disappears when the election's over.
I like
it,
that.
yeah.
Which I think would make it a Keter class, since they just can't contain that sucker.
Well, I
Yeah.
guess it would be Euclid because it's not like it's killing
It's not
people.
killing anybody. Yeah.
But anyone who votes in there is irrevocably gone from their own world and replaced with another person from another world that is irrevocably gone from their world.
Mm.
That's
which
fair.
is essentially death.
But then you just got to find it again and vote against what you would vote for to get back to your reality.
But here's the thing. You are sent to the world where your precise votes are the
Yeah.
outcomes.
So why would
That
you
we're
leave?
talking like if it's a presidential election, we're talking president, but also every single state level person. Whoever
Yeah.
you vote for in that system, in that center, you step into the world where that exact ballot wins.
Yeah. So, okay. I'm going to read out I'm going to read Euclid versus Keter out loud in the actual SCP thing so we
Yeah.
can decide.
We got to
Yeah.
settle this. I've
Yeah.
been crying for days.
Euclid class SCPs are anomalies that require more resources to contain completely or where containment is not always reliable. Usually this is because the SCP is sufficiently understood or inherently predictable. Euclid is the object class with the greatest scope, and it's usually a safe bet that a SCP will be this class if it doesn't fall easily into any of the other standard object classes. As a note, any SCP that is autonomous, sentient, and or sapient is generally classified as Euclid due to the inherent predictability of an object that can act or think on its own.
Okay.
You should just read them all, honestly. I'm fascinated.
Okay, so class safe. Safe class SCPs are anomalies that are easily and safely contained. This is often due to the fact that the Foundation has researched the SCP well enough that containment does not require significant resources or that the anomalies require a specific and conscious activation or trigger. Classifying an SCP as safe, however, does not mean that handling it or activating it does not pose a threat. And then we just read Euclid. Class Keter. Keter class SCPs are anomalies that are exceedingly difficult to contain or consistently or reliably, with containment procedures often being extensive and complex. The Foundation often can't contain these SCPs well due to not having or the Foundation often can't contain these SCPs well due to not having a solid understanding of the anomaly or lacking the technology to properly contain or counter it. A Keter SCP does not mean that the SCP is dangerous, just that it is simply very difficult or costly to contain.
Oh.
I think ours qualifies as Keter.
Yes. I also wanted to add something that might have make it more enticing. You know how you
Yeah.
just always get fucking texts from political shit all the time?
Yeah.
What if that's how people know where to vote? Because it's like, hey, you need to vote here. And so it's like
Ooh.
even
Yeah.
back in the old days, it's like evolved with the medium. So like
Yeah.
when we
I
first
love
started
that,
voting, it was
yeah.
letters, but now
It's
emails
text,
and
it's
text.
calls, and
Yeah.
Um,
Or
So that makes it
there is
harder
a
to contain because you can't get all of
yeah,
those.
and people are coming. And I think it could be neat too, because there's the world where it moves every time, but there's also the world where it's the exact same location. And so they
Yeah.
could send their own people in to study it each election cycle and see the results. But I do like the mystery of it moving each time.
I like the mystery
Yeah.
of it moving because that makes it. I think that's the element that makes it Keter class is the
Yeah,
fact
for
that
sure.
it's not a predictable movement. All right, class Thaumiel is the
Yeah.
next one, and these are not seen yet in the Foundation. Are the last two? These are
Oh,
just out in the wild, so these cannot be contained.
because Keter is like, well, we probably can't. Anything above Keter makes sense that they just don't have.
Yeah.
Thaumiel class are anomalies that the Foundation uses to contain or counteract other SCPs or anomalous phenomena. Even the mere existence of the Thaumiel class of objects is classified at the highest levels of the Foundation, and their locations, functions, and current status are known to few Foundation personnel outside of the O5 Council.
Whoa.
Last one is class Apollyon, a translation of the name Abaddon in Hebrew, the Angel of Death. An SCP that is nearly impossible to contain or recontain. Its properties pose a serious and immediate threat to the human life. So I think ours is Keter, but if it like decided to go more crazy, because I like to think that the workers are like a sentient hive mind within the thing that are just like
Yeah.
their whole thing is just, I think it's like an element of like, these people just want peace and realize the only way to do that is to put people in what they see as their right timeline or their right universe.
They want to help so bad that they're well, at least our theory, they want to help you so bad that they're sending you to where you want to be.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're sending to you to your ideal place.
Yeah.
So that way you can do it. You know, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I am just like scrolling back through this podcast and I could easily re-listen to every single episode because there's so much to rediscover after long enough of not listening. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do love SCPs. Like there's one that I listened to and it's like SCP-28 and it's just called Knowledge, but it is a spot in the middle of a quarry at a specific height that if you are in that spot, the longer you're there, the smarter you get. And the more knowledge, well, not even the smarter, the more knowledge just kind of flows into your brain about random things. But if you stay there long enough, you get like brain hemorrhages.
Damn.
Like it is,
Is
it's
it like
such a neat thing.
It's like a King Solomon type thing.
Kinda, but you're just, it's that specific spot in a random place. So I think that would be the, like, I guess that would be Keter because they've actually got it and they can contain it, but I just love
Like,
these.
I once had an idea for a scripted podcast that was kind of like, without knowing it, now thinking about it, it was kind of like an SCP style podcast, but it was a podcast of one SCP, and it was like a
Ooh.
radio host and people calling in, and it getting like progressively more deep and out there until eventually it was like this radio host being like, yeah, you're gonna die in a week, and like stuff like that, and like a weird like fortune teller radio host.
Yeah.
It never panned out. I have never written a single episode of this idea for a scripted podcast, and I probably never will. But
These are just so cool. SCPs are like Warehouse 13 meets Twilight Zone meets Creepypasta, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
I
do love a creepypasta.
I do love a good creepypasta. We should do a creepypasta ep sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Me too. But I really do like our weird polling place.
Yeah. And you know what else what other SCPs Caleb likes?
Yeah, this one's definitely an SCP.
It's an
If you're
earworm.
if you're talking about SCP 1985, that
Yeah.
would be Psychobilly Freakout by the Reverend Horton Heat. And the real mystery of the SCP is how we get to use it every week for our
real.
opening and closing music. And it's a wonderful time. It's off the album Smoke 'Em If You Got 'Em, and it's a banger of a track.
We also got SCP Elon Musk. If you want to find us on there for maybe a little bit longer. It's Junk House, and the Owen House is a 0.
We may jump ship at some
We might
point.
jump ship. It's kind of burning.
Yeah. We need new Twitter, but different, but better.
But better Twitter without
Better
Elon.
I'm gonna figure out how to build a website and make cool Twitter.
Yeah.
Cooltwitter.com.
And if you also like SCPs that are emails, and
Isn't that
spooky
copy pasta?
emails, yeah, that's a copy pasta. Yeah, if you don't email us at junkhousemailbox@gmail.com, you'll die.
You'll be dead forever.
If you listen to this show and don't email us, your death is imminent.
I guess we also got to say, before we say the thing that we say every week, probably for the next, at least until the first week of December, we're going to be taking a little bit of break. Caleb is getting married next week.
I get married.
The week after that is Thanksgiving.
I'll be on my honeymoon.
So we're just going to be taking a little bit of a breaky break. We might drop some like really short episodes of just one of us talking about whatever bullshit we want to talk about. But yeah, we're taking a little break.
Yeah.
Also, before we get to the thing we say every week, if you are a fan of this show, you may also be a fan of another show, Just Super. And we'll go ahead and announce it here, as well as we're announcing it on that feed. Just Super will be coming back.
Ooh. Yeah, we're coming back with the new year. We did on hiatus until the fall, but recording schedules were tough, and now we're in a place where we can actually record consistently again for me and Caleb. So that's coming back, and we are starting. Well, we kind of started our MCU reviews with only one movie. Yeah, we're continuing the MCU review, so you could just hop right in there instead of going back to the beginning if you want to.
Hey, yeah.
And as we say every week, guys, I think the can opener just offered me a blowjob.
Call
Don't
SCP.
accept it. Don't accept it. Do not accept
Call
it.
SCP,
I made
call
that
SCP.
mistake.
Call
I made that
organization.
mistake.
I'm
I made
already
that mistake.
circumcised. How bad could it get?
I went in uncircumcised, and now Cordell, look at me. Look at me. What do you see?
Oh, it's glorious.